what's going on, guys? It's We The People here, coming to you with another episode of the Mystic Shot Podcast. So, in this episode, me and Doughy are gonna go over the patch notes that came out for the patch. We gave pretty much our impressions on it. We go through every single change card by card, and we give our impressions on it. And we also talk about our first Mystic Shot Podcast tournament, which the second tournament is going to be in the links down below for anybody that wants to join. So we just talk about like how it went and just some of the cool moments, like Flock being a beast. This is like first it started as the Lunatic Fringe tournaments, and he basically won both of those. And then our first Mystic Shot Podcast tournament, he won that one too. So he's just a beast. He comes out every single Tuesday for us, so I appreciate him. And also I think that's pretty much it. So if anybody, like I said before, if anybody wants to join the tournament, it's going to be in the links down below. Try not to wait until last minute, because we can only do up to 32 people, unfortunately, because if we try to go over that, then the brackets are going to be weird. It's going to be a lot of people are going to have buys. So just try to, if you want to play in the tournament, just try to, get in as fast as possible. But that's about it. So guys, enjoy the episode. Me and Doughy go at it. I'm sorry, another thing is this episode is really long. I apologize, but me and Doughy wanted to give you guys our impressions on these changes, because this was a really lengthy patch. It had a lot of buffs, it had a lot of nerfs, so we just gave you guys our impressions. So without further ado, let me present the podcast episode, and that's about it. So guys, peace out. Enjoy. Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is Mystic Shot Podcast, episode 52. And of course, I got DoughyNut joining me once again for the triple threat, bro. What's going on? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. It's patch day, new season, always exciting. So I'm glad to be here. Glad to be talking about Runeterra.
Yo, patch day. Patch day came in hot yesterday, bro. Hot.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I've been able to play a few games on it so far. Climbed up a rank already. I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh wow. We got straight to climbing this season. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, hold on. I might have to catch up now. Wait, hold up, cause I didn't
You do.
Yo, I wouldn't even. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I took a little break last season because I was feeling a little burned out. But I'm gonna get back into playing Runeterra a lot more than I usually do. But we gotta hit these patch notes. We gotta hit these patch notes. But first, before we get into talking about anything, I gotta hit you guys with the YouTube stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I have to. If I don't, Mad Will's our producer. He's gonna hate me forever. He's in chat. I'm sorry, guys. He's holding me hostage. I have to do it. But for anybody that doesn't know, we have a YouTube channel for Mystic Shot Podcast. Most times you guys are gonna see this on my channel, but I'm trying to transition to putting the podcast episodes on the actual Mystic Shot Podcast, so I will leave links down below for you guys to check it out. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, Mr. DoughyNut here is coming back to streaming. So
I am.
Excuse me. So don't forget to check the links down below for a link to his Twitch. I don't know if he has YouTube. If he does, it will be down below, of course. And SoundCloud, blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. Yeah. You know the deal at this point. Just check the links down below. All the instructions are there. Just make sure you hit us up. And that's about it. I'm hyped to get into these patch notes, honestly. I mean, I've seen them, obviously. Like, who wasn't counting down the seconds to see patch yesterday.
It's been a long time. And it was overdue.
Yeah, whoa, wait. Riot's been doing good. They've been doing good. I think since their hotfix, right? They've been doing good, right? Come on. We can agree to disagree. Come.
Like, so it's funny. I was happy with the meta, right? I said that I think last time I was on. Yesterday, I don't know. I talked to you a lot now. I was really enjoying the previous meta. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there were plenty of different decks you could play. I thought the tournament meta was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I was ready for something new. Like, not because I was unhappy. Like, I was unhappy during the Azir Valley meta. Anyone who's ever heard me speak knows that. I was very unhappy. But I was just ready for something new.
Yeah.
And it's been a while. So I'm glad we have something a little new. A few new toys to play with, based off some adjustments they made, that we'll get into. And I'm still kind of waiting for new cards.
Yeah. No, me as well.
I'm pretty happy.
I'm waiting for Bundle to be complete so we can know with all the tools that we're playing with here. But all right, let's without further ado, if for anybody that hasn't seen the patch, we're gonna go through it. Pretty not super in depth, but we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through each change, how we feel about it, stuff like that, and just gonna take it forward. So, first of all, I appreciate when Riot decides to write all of this text to tell us like how they feel about the game, right? I don't know how you feel about it, Doughy, but I like when they actually tell us like the direction that they're gonna go, and then they stick to it, right? I like that. So they give us like what is life balance philosophy and stuff like that. I like when they tell us about life balance, like what it actually means and stuff like that. I went into it on stream, like I think it was yesterday, but Doughy, did you have any feelings on them talking about the philosophy of life balance?
So I'm gonna be honest. I skimmed this portion because I was super interested to see what the cards were, and my big takeaway in the skimming was that they're looking to do a balance patch once a month, kind of in between card releases.
Yeah,
which makes sense. I'm generally happy with it. With the words that they've said, I want them, when there's a problem, to fix it. That's all I wanted. Like, for some of the worst metas we've had, is like there have been things that are like toxic to the game that they're like, oh, we'll daily the 52% trending down win rates, blah blah blah. And it's just like, oh god, you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they fix the stuff that's broken and they address that. They say that when things are making or are breaking their metrics, they will hopefully be able to fix it quickly now. So if that happens, I'll be happy. And if it doesn't, I'll riot again. No pun intended.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much what this kind of little excerpt from Riot pretty much says. It pretty much tells us like they're trying to stick to a certain schedule. They're basically trying to coming out with balance patches in the middle of card expansions and stuff like that. And they pretty much just tell us like they're gonna try to stick to this. That's pretty much what they're trying to say. And then also
where they get in trouble in the past, if I could jump back in, sorry, is when they miss something in that balance patch that they should have hit and they didn't, and then the community's upset, and then a month goes by and they release cards and they're like, oh, we're releasing cards so there's no balance update here, and then the community gets like angry because they're like, oh, you missed it in the balance patch, now we have to wait until the next one, and if that's still gonna be 2 months away, like I don't think this will appease the community for too long. If they're not hitting the things that the community finds problematic. So, I mean, there's a balance to be had, obviously. Again, no pun intended. on fire. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for them.
I mean, there's definitely hard to balance a card game for sure. Like it's not the most easiest thing in the world, right? But I think if they figure out a system, which hopefully this is the right system for Runeterra, they figure out a system, and like they say here, they're gonna try to fix the feeling of stale metas and stuff like that. So hopefully, if this is their approach, that this is something that they can stick to. That's all I can say. I mean, I can appreciate it because at least they're moving into the, and you know I've played other card games, like not to sound like an old timer, like back in my day, like not to sound like that, but I've played other card games, and there's sometimes where you literally just don't hear the people that the card designers, they don't say anything to you. Like they just make different changes and they just do whatever. So these are things to just keep in mind. So at least they're telling us, like, this is what's up. Also, They give us a roadmap from now, which is October, until December, which is when the new expansion is coming out. So it's not that far away, honestly. I'm looking forward to the new expansion, to be honest. The balance patches always feel like another, like a fresher, like a breath of fresh air every time they come out. So I think everybody always looks forward to it. All right, so this is pretty much them, like I said, going through more of why they do life balance patch, stuff like that, yada yada, X, Y, Z. All right, let's get into changes. So first change, of course, they could not go a balance patch without at least skimming, if not destroying, at least touching Nami. There's no way they already knew it in their head. Even if they just like made her a 2/2, they were gonna do something to Nami, right? So first change, they changed Nami's level requirement to you've gained 8 spell mana this game. In my personal opinion, I think this is gonna change the way you play Nami, but I don't think this is like this change alone is not gonna literally just like the deck. That's my personal opinion. How you feel about that?
This alone, I think this is just like a perfectly appropriate change. It takes down the power level from Nami earlier in the game, so it takes them one extra turn to kind of get on the board and get that engine running, so to speak. But in the mid, like once she's leveled, right, it doesn't matter anymore. So it's a little bit weaker earlier in the game, but neutral in the mid and late game. So I mean, I think it's an appropriate change. I'm pretty happy with it. I saw that and I said, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think any changes to Nami was warranted, honestly. It was just like, all right, we get it. Elusive, play Nami, win the game, we get it. We understand. All right. So this is in my personal opinion, this is like the most, well, let me think about that. Out of all the changes, yeah, I think this is one of the most controversial changes. I think some people are on the boat where they're like, did Draven really need to be a 3/2? Couldn't they nerf him a different way? And then other people are like, nah, I'm ready. I'm just so ready for Draven to be nerfed. Like, there's no in between here.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting with Draven. I think they made the right change if they decided they wanted to nerf Draven. Mm-hmm. Draven has been a meta champion since the beta.
Honestly.
At least from discard aggro, and then as Draven, and now Draven Scion. And so they dropped one of his health points down. He was a 3/3, he's now a 3/2. And I think this is like a pretty appropriate change. It's less impactful than the Fiora nerf. Fiora going from 3/3 to 3/2, because Draven has quick attack. So that means in combat he's just as resilient as he was before, effectively. Makes him a worse blocker, I guess. But he still is generating that axe on play, and that is kind of where some of the value from Draven comes, and one of the reasons why he's so so valuable is because he gets some sort of value as soon as he hits the board. Same thing with like Twisted Fate. Whenever Twisted Fate gets thrown into decks, it's usually because that play effect is pretty good. At worst case scenario, Draven's giving you discard fodder, which is nice. Best case scenario, he starts to take over the game with all the value generation. So I think him being 3-2, I think it's perfectly appropriate. I don't know if it was necessary, but I mean, he's been in the meta forever, so maybe he needs to take a step back.
Yeah, that's honestly how I was feeling. I was feeling like he's been a meta, like, okay, maybe this is a topic for another day, but I'm gonna graze it a little bit. A friend of mine was like asking me, like, what are we call like meta defining champions, right, in Runeterra right now? And Draven has been on the forefront of those meta defining champions for a while. Like, honestly, he's been one of those champions that if you're playing Noxus and you're not playing Draven, you're honestly trolling. So like, I could consider him a meta defining champion.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. It's interesting though, because if you polled the community and if you asked people before if Draven was overpowered, they would say no. I think the vast majority of the community would not agree that Draven was overpowered, but he's just been really good.
I honestly, I don't even think last patch he was overpowered. I don't think he was ever overpowered. I don't think he was either. Wait, actually, no, I take that back. In beta, he was overpowered, but now with how he is now, I don't think he's overpowered. I think it was also the synergistic cards that also kind of took him over the top, if I were to say the least. But I think Draven is he's just a good champion, honestly.
Yep. I think he's still good now too.
Yeah, same. I think he's still a good champion. All right, next change, Tristana. So the rest of so a lot of these changes, other than like maybe one, which I'm at this point, if you don't know that this champion got changed, then spoiler alert, we're gonna go over it. But all the rest of these changes, well, the changes to the champions are kind of like light grazes. They kind of just wanted to change some champion cards, and they kind of give us a little excerpt right here. Our next set of changes for champions in the patch focus on quality of life for champions who could use just a little help. So they pretty much tell us like they just wanted to give these champions just a little help. So Tristana on level 2 now grants herself impact as well as her allies. To be honest, I have never played level 2 Tristana, but I was just like, wait, she doesn't give impact to herself?
Yeah, right? That was my reaction when I read it too. Which I guess is why they probably added it. Now, so it is kind of cool because she grants impact to herself every time she summons you summon a multi-region follower, or multi-region ally, sorry. She could be stacking impact on herself now. So she could get impact 2, impact 3, impact 4.
You're right.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
How relevant is that going to be? It's hard to say. There were some Tristana Shadow Elves decks that were actually like kind of scary, although not very popular. They were there. So I mean, it's just a straight buff. So I mean, cool, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, we'll take it. We'll take it. All right. Next change, Nocturne. So this is another change. I heard people saying that Ruben said that he didn't know why this wasn't in the game or whatever. And I'm just like, I didn't even know this was in the game. I guess the only person that would really know that this was in the game was like somebody like Nick, because he used to play a lot of Nightfall. So level 2 Nocturne now retains Nightfall. Grant enemy vulnerable and give enemies -1/-0 this round. So pretty much it has Nightfall now, and when you play it gives vulnerable to something. Honestly, like I said, I didn't know that level 2 Nocturne didn't have Nightfall.
Yeah, so this one, the use case,
level 2 Nocturne not have Nightfall. That's great.
This one, the use case is pretty narrow. However, perhaps the biggest impact that this change makes is it makes Unto Dusk now work on Nocturne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like that's probably the biggest deal. This is just like a rounding out the edges of the game kind of change. It is a straight buff. It does make Nocturne a little bit better. He's not going to see his win rate go up by 1% because of this change. But like, it just makes more sense. So I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, it just makes more sense, honestly. I agree with that. All right, next change. They changed the Echo. Oh man, he's not a 2020 that would overwhelm when you play him. They just nah, I'm playing. So his level requirements on level 1 is now you predicted 4. Basically meaning that he levels up a little faster. So straight buff, like pretty much. Like cut and dry, straight buff.
Yep. The best part sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I was just saying the best part about this is that it makes him less of a bonded pair to Shurima because it's easier to hit that condition without being paired with Shurima. So now maybe predicting 4 times without Shurima isn't so much of a pipe dream anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but also how Echo now he can I mean, basically you're never gonna see level 1 Echo now, right? Like
he might, but he'll level himself quick.
Yeah, he levels in deck like super fast. So I mean, I don't know how relevant it's gonna be, but I mean, I'll wait and see. Like I'll play an Echo deck. But
do that.
But
when you crack the meta, let me know.
God.
I'll be over here net decking other people.
Got you. All right, so they also changed. They this is the revert. They changed ASOL back from 25 to 20 total power. Like I said, all these changes, just little incremental buffs, basically. I'm pretty much. I feel like they pretty much looked at it and they were like, "Wait, why did we ever even change this?" Like.
So I think this one's actually a huge buff.
Oh really?
A Revenant Soul. Oh yeah. Like, I think this is the second most impactful champion change of this entire patch, right? Because now Aurelion Soul alone is 10 of the 20 required.
Yeah,
you have an Aurelion Soul
true.
and an Eclipse Dragon, that's 17. Now all you need is some like random 3/2 and you have Aurelion Soul flipped.
True. That is
or
true.
2 1/1s. That's not good math. 3 1/1s or something small like that.
A 2/2, which there's a 2/2 that got buffed, and a random one. And a random.
Like, I think he's gonna flip earlier now.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. 100%.
And which is gonna help him close out games a turn earlier. So I like it. I think this is pretty nice.
Well, I will be waiting to see, because dragons got buffed.
Yes, I cannot wait to talk about dragons later on.
All right, next change. Renekton. Instead of I've dealt 12 damage, it's I've dealt 10 damage. I mean, to be honest, I was talking about this on stream yesterday. I think that this doesn't necessarily change Renekton, but it makes it so that he can literally, if you wanted to, not saying you couldn't do it before, but you can probably consistently level him with 2 strikes now. Like, pretty consistently.
Yeah, you will.
So I think it's a good change.
I don't mind it. I really like Renekton. I love his level up animation, and like I love the whole like stream of movie concept. The problem with this is that he still is just a little too vulnerable to just dying in combat. So leveling up is still hard. And if you do level him up, you might just die like immediately after.
True.
So, and you don't get value out of him usually the turn that he levels up, because you usually have to attack to level him up.
True.
So it's just like he's still kind of in this awkward spot. Hopefully he's good. I like the champion, so I hope he's good. But I still don't think he's gonna be played too often.
Okay. Well, We shall
If
see.
he was a dragon, that'd be sick. But he's not. He's just like.
We just need Riot. All right. Listen.
And he's an alligator. I know he's not a dragon, but like.
No, right.
Reminds me.
No, right. Listen to me. Just print us a 2-mana fast speed spell that makes things dragons. All right. Just do that for me.
That would actually be nuts. No, they can't do that. They cannot do that.
2-mana spell. 2-mana fast speed. Right? Just listen to me. Listen to the words I'm speaking. 2-mana fast speed spell makes your board dragons. Do it. I'm calling it out now. They're buffing the hell out of dragons. Something is
Glad
coming
you're
out
not
for
designing
dragons.
cards.
If that is a thing in the next set, I want somebody to literally just like bring this clip back up. Like they just like, remember when We the People said, I'll remember it. All right, so
I remember that too.
New champion reveal over here. So Lux got a new champ. So she's a 5-mana 3/5. I know, little. She has little attack. She has some big stonks. But Final Spark now. So I'm sorry. Let me say her whole ability. So she's a 3/5 for 5, and her level up is a 4/6. And they also changed her Final Spark can be casted directly on the enemy nexus if they have no units on board. I think it's not one of these changes that is obviously good for her. I think it's both of these changes. Like they probably tested it and they were just like, oh, this is okay, put it in the game. So I like both of these changes because obviously too, they didn't rework her, but they pretty much like gave her like a little, I guess what you're gonna call is like a redressing kinda. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't rework her necessarily because they didn't change her effect, but they did change her mana cost and they did change what Final Spark does kinda. So
right.
What's your feelings on this?
So I think like in a vacuum, if you just look at the card Lux and you're like, oh, this seems pretty strong. Mm-hmm. I don't think she has a deck, and I don't think she's gonna have a deck anytime soon that is strong enough to make playing Lux worthwhile. I think oftentimes the Final Spark adjustment isn't gonna matter unless you're gonna win the game anyway, right? If your opponent has no units on the field, you're gonna win the game eventually. Right? That's just how Runeterra works. But it does, like, in that case, now she doesn't have a dead effect. So that's nice. She's certainly better than she was. It'll be interesting to see if her supporting, her followers and the supporting spells from Demacia are strong enough to make her kind of fit a deck properly.
Yep, I agree with everything you just said, honestly. She does not have a deck. It sucks. But we are dependent on you, Rioters, all right? Because we know these competitive people are going to look at Lux and say she's trash. So we need you guys, all right? We need you to crack the code. Because I'm pretty sure everybody's looking at Lux and saying she's garbage.
Like, she's probably pretty close. I think her herself is now kind of strong, but it's just like everything going on around her is not good enough.
Yeah, and it's also her biggest problem is her region. Honestly, the region she's in, and this is just my personal opinion. I think her biggest problem is just she's in Demacia. If she's in any other region, you're like, all right, maybe I can do this, but not Demacia. not there. Right. Another change that's like is Quinn. I mean, we'll take any buffs to Demacian champions like that are left behind, like Quinn. So her stats are going up from 3-4 to 3-5 now, and her leveled up is going up from 4-5 to 4-6. So they basically added on a health point. Does this change scouts? Probably not. Is she going to be played in scouts rather than Poppy? Probably not. But maybe we'll see a deck with Quinn. What do you think, Doughty?
So Quinn's kind of big now. I think a 3-5, that's a big unit. The problem is probably still like she's 5 mana. It's coming on a little too slow. Scouts aren't very popular right now. But it's easier for her to attack one more time instead of keeping her on the back row until later on. In Scouts to begin with, Quinn wasn't really a champion. It was like MF and Valor, right? But those were the two champions of Scouts. So perhaps Quinn's a bit stronger now. Perhaps it's worth not running Poppy again, but we did not see a Poppy nerf, so probably still worth playing Poppy.
Literally, Poppy was not nerfed. Confirmed.
Yes, and confirmed.
All right, next change. Brom. Yeah, I was literally. This is another champ that I was talking about earlier. So they changed his health from 0.5 to 0.6. Also, his level 2 got changed from a 1.6 to a 1.7. I don't think these changes are going to change Brom the meta.
Nothing changed. This actually did not change Brom at all. He's no better than he was.
But we will take it. Excuse me. I'm bad. But we will take it, and we'll just roll with the punches. I think Brom. I don't know. I don't know what they can do with a Brom, because this is my personal opinion. I remember I've been playing the game since beta, right? So I remember Bold Eagle. I don't think that deck was good. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think that deck was good when Brom had one attack and played with a Nibian. That deck was good. I think we just didn't figure out the meta at that point. And we're just like, oh, this is broken. Oh my god, we can't beat this. That's just my personal opinion. Because all the stuff that came after that was just ridiculous. And we didn't even have Hush in the game yet. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me being bad, and I don't know the game, and one attack Brom is just way too strong. What do you think, though?
So there's a deck that 9-0'd the open rounds in Asia. This is Poppy Brom. Went 9-0, which is kind of sick. I've played it a few times. It's a fun deck. Don't know if it's like good, or at least good enough for ladder. So like the idea being, if one attack Brom is broken, play with Poppy, and you have one attack Brom. But this buff making him a 0-6, it does, I think, absolutely nothing. It's like not even a change. It's just he's the exact same 95% of the time. So whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we'll take it. We've been excuse me. I was thinking before I speak. We've been asking Riot to make these kind of changes, right? Of like little minuscule changes, because we want the game to not be stale, even if it's just from little changes, because stats actually do matter in Runeterra a lot. And the difference between 0.5 and 0.6, obviously not that much. But when we get into other changes, when certain stats go from a 1-2 to a 2-2, that does matter, because that trades well into stuff. Like,
or 1-1 into a 1-2, which we'll cover later on.
Exactly. So that's a huge change. So, but with Brom, it honestly doesn't make a difference, because he has regen, and on top of that, so he has regen, and on top of that, he doesn't have any attack. So, right, next change. So this is the Nami clipping of the wings.
Yes.
This is the end.
Yes.
This is the clapping.
Yeah, I'm here for this change.
Me too, honestly. I every single time I played the Filio spell and got Sparklefly, I felt a little dirty inside, right? Like, why is this a 2-drop?
I don't know.
Why
like,
is Sparklefly a 2-drop?
And exactly, like, Sparklefly being printed as a 2-drop is like it began the era of bad feelings. Whatever like decision-making process they followed for that, they took other places and just wasn't good. Like, they had Kinku Lifeblade as a 4-mana 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
And it was... No, what was it before? I don't remember. It's a 4-mana 2/2 now. What was it before? 4-mana 2/3? Yeah. And it was...
Yeah, it was a 4-mana 2/3.
It was busted. Broken. Like, Ionia was by far the best thing you could do, simply because you could put Kinku Lifeblade in decks. It was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then they print Sparklefly as a 2-mana 1/2 with Elusive and Lifesteal, and it's just like, oh my goodness, they did it again. And it took a little bit. There were some weird Trees of Thelios decks with the 3/3 from Shrevima Xenotype Researchers.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd only have a Thelios, Sparklefly, and Xenotype Researchers in a deck and like cheese it out that way. That was kind of sick. But now that's up at 3 mana, it can be cheated out from Crescendum, which means that like Nami's heavily nerfed. When they do play Sparklefly just straight from their hand, they're using another mana. That mana isn't going to be used on like a Pale Cascade or something stupid like that. So it effectively makes it have less health because they have less protection mana available for it, and it can't be cheated out. This is good. We like this. I like this. Good job.
Honestly, I couldn't have said it better. Like I said earlier, I felt a little dirty every time I played Sparklefly from the deck. Crescent. It feels like I have 8 Sparkleflies. I mean, yeah. It's not okay. It was never okay.
Next needs to be Eye the Dragon at 3 mana.
Whoa, wait, hold on, buddy. Hold on. Wait a minute. I don't think they're gonna nerf Eye. Hold on.
I don't think they will, but they should.
They honestly, Lee Sin needs to, I'm surprised Lee Sin did not get touched at all. Like, at all? Like, at all?
I think they're happy with where he is at the moment. He's one of the only like combo decks right now. So.
Yeah, I guess.
Other than Shellfolk decks. But.
Yeah, Shellfolk is definitely a thing. But all right, let's. I think we've talked about the dumpster fire enough. Sparklefly's out of here. I don't know if Nami's gonna be in the meta, but I'm sure people are gonna find some way to play Nami, right? Because her effect is really strong, but it's just not gonna be on Sparklefly anymore, which is not toxic for the game, right? All right.
Right.
The next card. This was another change that I was like, oh. So Twin Blade Revenant doesn't have challenge anymore. He has Fearsome. This is a huge change for the Draven deck. So not only are they losing 1 health from Draven now, so they're also losing Challenger on Twin Blade Revenant, because they're still gonna play Lost Soul. So obviously they're gonna have this card, but it's not like it completely just like it's completely dead card. Fearsome is still a really good keyword, because not being able to block this with some little blocker is still effectively good. So yeah, it's not counted out.
So this change just changed the matchup tables for Draven style. I think it's like overall power level is probably the same, but the matchup tables have changed. So like Action Sivir now isn't as terrible against Draven Sound as it used to be, because now the Sivir and the actions don't just get eaten by Twin Blade Revenant. Because the Action Sivir player can now choose not to block it if they don't want to. Which is like really cool. I think that's a nice change. I think Draven's Scion might lean more into the aggro style and get away from the mid-rangey stuff that it was doing, right? So I could see Phlox being cut from the list.
Maybe
I could
less
see
Scorched
fewer.
Earth.
I'm sorry.
I said maybe no Scorched Earth, maybe no Mystic Shots, stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see Mystic Shot getting cut. I could see Scorched Earth getting cut. They'll keep Get Excited because that goes to the face very well. But I could see Mystic Shot getting cut. I could see the Reborn Grenadier getting added back in more en masse than it was. People started to add it back in again a few weeks before the seasonal, but I could see that coming out. I think they're going to be really leaning into the aggro side of it, and the fearsome keyword kind of fits that theme.
Yeah, I think it's a good change, and moving forward, I think it'll be excuse me, I think it'll be less like overwhelming, because that's what this card is, right? It's like overwhelming advantage. Because that's what this card was. It was like, not only am I gonna kill your champion, but I'm also gonna get a loss all my hand and do it again. Like, it's just a little too much. So I like that they changed it. They didn't completely just take it out the meta, right? They just changed one keyword and kept the power level, because they could have completely just like neutered the stats, right? But instead they decided to change the keyword to something that's a little bit more aggro faced, which is good. Alright, so Tenor of the Terror, I think this kind of took me off guard, right? Because I didn't think they were going to nerf anything from Vandal City. That's just my personal opinion. I didn't think they were going to nerf anything, but so they nerfed Tenor of the Terra and base of the base of Burden. So Tenor of the Terra goes from a 2/3 to a 1/3. So they took one stat of attack from that, and they took another defense from the base of Burden from a 3/2 to a 3/1. So I mean, basically you can trade pretty easily into it now. How do you feel about that?
I think this is a great change. I like the symmetry, the 1/3, 3/1. I think that's cool. I like how oddly statted these units are. I think that makes it like a little more flavorful. Coming from like the wacky, whimsical region, seems to make more sense to me. And I think they were just too good before. They're way too efficient before, and now they seem a bit less efficient, a little more like fun. I don't know. I just like it. I still think Poppy Burn is a good deck. I did play a few games of it already today. Still performing very well. Tenor of Terror still feels like a good card when I drop it. So like, I like the change. I like it. I'm actually a really big fan.
Okay. Like I said, personally, I didn't think that they were going to change any cards from Vandal, but this caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay, wait, so is Mini Morph on there? Alright, next change. Relentless Pursuit. This is like the second card that people were very controversial about. It was like either they like the change or they completely hate the change, right? So Relentless Pursuit is going down to 4 mana. I mean, I said going down. Ooh, imagine 2 mana Relentless Pursuit. Oh my gosh. So Relentless Pursuit is going up to 4 mana, but it now has grant an ally +1/+1. So if you ask my personal opinion, I personally do not like the change, because I mean, it's pretty much a worse Golden Ages. like I don't know, maybe they could have made it, instead of giving it +1/+1, like how would you feel if it was fast, if it was 4 mana and fast? You think it would be too broken? Do that. It would be too broken.
They cannot do that. They cannot print a fast speed rally. They did it before. They cannot do it again. If Relentless Pursuit is fast, that means the opponent can never open up with a spell, or else they like lose the game. It's terrible. They won't do it again, I'm sure. Unless it's like 8 mana or something dumb.
Something crazy, right?
I don't like the change in general. I don't think it was necessary. I liked having the 3 mana rally. that did nothing versus a 4-mana rally that does something, right? Right? You choose which one you want to put in your deck. Now, the only time you're putting Relentless Pursuit in your deck is if you want to run 6 Golden Aegis but can't. Or 5 Golden Aegis. So there's exactly one deck that's gonna ever play Relentless Pursuit, and that's Tarot Rally decks. Because now Relentless Pursuit is a targeted spell, you could put this on Tarek, give him 1/1, attack with Tarek, and then rally again after that because he copies it. That's the only use case for this spell over Golden Aegis. I don't know why you'd ever want 1/1 in stats instead of a barrier. It is Grant, so I guess you keep it, but like, I'm off it.
I mean, also they consequently nerfed Lucian as well. My boy. They took him down one more peg. I see what you're doing, Riot. 2 birds, 1 stone, right? But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. Like I said, I personally do not like the change. You can agree with that. I mean, it's in the game, so we just gotta figure it out. We just gotta move forward, right? I mean, exactly. I feel like eventually they're gonna figure out that Relentless Pursuit probably didn't need to get nerfed, but
this is a bigger nerf to scouts than the Quinn buff was a buff to scouts.
I personally agree with that, honestly, because now with Stony, this is 5.
Yeah, right.
5 mana Relentless. Oh my goodness, this is like their whole turn. But all right, next change. So, Stone Stackers, I think this in my personal opinion, people look at this change and they're just like, why did they nerf Stone Stackers? Because tough is a really good keyword.
Stone Stackers was like the first card that made tough sound or feel good.
Really? You think so?
Oh, yeah. Like, when are you ever afraid of a tough unit? Like, there's one other good tough unit in the game that I can think of off the top of my head anyway.
Radiant Guardian.
That's it. That's the only other one where you're like, tough seems pretty good.
The 5/5 as well.
Oh, no one's ever played the 5/5.
What do you mean? There's that 4/3 that turns into the 5/5.
Yeah, no one's played that card. When's the last time you've seen that card we played?
All right.
I don't know the name.
No, I don't.
I don't either. It's some Cavalier, I think.
Yep, it is.
But like Vanguard Cavalier? I don't know.
No, I think it is Vanguard Wow. Wow, going off the dome. Wow. I think it is Vanguard Cavalier too.
But with Stone Stackers, it's kind of cool because it enabled things like Imperial Demolitionist.
Yes.
And aggro cards generally have low health and are susceptible to pings like Vile Feast or something like that. Stone Stackers isn't vulnerable to that same kind of thing, which is why tough seemed like such a good keyword on Stone Stackers when it didn't really feel too valuable on other units. And it's just because of the pace of the game and what that type of deck is usually vulnerable to. So, I mean, I thought it was a really cool card. I played Poppy Burn quite a bit today, and you notice the difference in Stone Stackers. It's still a good card. You still keep it in your Poppy Burn decks, definitely, but it's not quite as good as it used to be. Now, Stone Stackers dies to a flock after you play Imperial Demolitionist on it, and that feels bad.
Dang, that feels bad. Imagine, Stone Stackers is the card that can trade with another 2/2 and live to tell the tale, and then you can demolition it and live to tell the tale.
Yeah, and then they just can't Vile Feast it.
And then they can't.
It was such a good card before. I agree it probably need to be nerfed. Wow. I guess this is probably a reasonable change. But Stone Stackers was low-key one of my favorites. So I'm sad, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. But all right, next card, Loof. This is another change. Like I said before, I didn't think they were gonna hit any Bennu City cards, but I definitely thought Loof was not gonna be on here. But they nerfed the stats. I mean, it makes sense. This card shouldn't be a fearsome blocker. It already does so much. Like
Youth Travelers, I think, was objectively the best card in the game for its mana point.
I agree with that. I think this
4
card
mana.
is like crazy. 4 mana, keep Lucian off the board.
Yeah. At effectively burst speed, right? It was so nuts. I was like thinking about it today. I was like at work talking about history like I do. And then I was like, man, Aloof Travelers was busted, wasn't it? Just like in my head. It's like, it removes a win con from your enemy's hand.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you hand information based off of what you saw get kicked away. And it draws you a card.
It does so much. It does.
And it was a 3/4.
And it was a
blocks
fearsome
so
block.
well.
Yep. It did so much, honestly. So Riot obviously sees that, and they nerfed the effectiveness just a little bit. They nerfed the effect, but they nerfed the stats. It shouldn't be an overstated unit for everything it does. I couldn't agree more. Honestly, this card did a lot.
Yeah.
Feel the rush can't play the game.
I thought they were going to go down to a 3-2. They decided to go to 2-3, which I guess is fine. But yeah, I'm glad they changed it. That was a not fun card.
Yeah, I agree. So next changes are gonna be to Targon. They're gonna just buff some stats and stuff like that. Blase. That's what they talk about here. Okay, so Moondreaver is going from a 3/5 to a 3/6. I don't really have any feelings towards that. Did you have any feelings towards it?
I think we can kind of talk about the next 3 cards all at the same time because they made the same change to all of them, right? They gave 1 health to the invoke cards.
True. So
except Solari, they gave a attack to.
Yeah. So Moon Dreamer. I don't know why I was tongue twisting that. Moon Dreamer, they gave a +1 health to it. Lunari. I'm so hyped to say Solari. I'm just hyped to even talk about her. So Lunari Priestess, they gave a +1 health to as well, and then Solari Priestess, they gave a +1 attack. So all 3 of these cards pretty much, other than maybe Moon Dreamer, pretty much they changed it so that these cards trade well into other cards, which is good.
Yeah, so the Lunari Priestess gaining a health point is like the least impactful thing ever, because no one was pinging it anyway, and it trades into the same stuff, right? It still trades into other 2/2s or 3/2s just as well as it did before.
True.
So it's like, okay, I guess.
But the Solari
now it kills more, which is a bigger buff, right? It can trade into the 2 drops that have 2 health now, which is kind of nice. So it's less of a tempo loss. And Moon Dreamer gaining the health. Okay, whatever.
Yep.
I guess.
And then also Raven Daylight Spear also gains a +1 health. We'll take any buffs to Targon because they got the shaft.
Raven getting buffed, I think, might be a big deal. Raven is a really good card and must be killed like ASAP by the opponent before he gets out of control. True. So I think him getting this point of health actually matters quite a bit.
I can agree with that. So another change, they gave Scourge Overwhelm, which I think obviously is pretty good because now he has Challenger and Overwhelm, and he also buffs your whole board to Overwhelm, so that's pretty good. I mean, he's a finisher. He should have been a finisher.
Yeah, he's kind of like now the slightly better version of Destroyer. So paying a 3 mana premium to have access to AoE Overwhelm. Now, how valuable is the AoE Overwhelm when you're playing, a 15-10 with Overwhelm anyway? Because he usually buffs himself up at least a few times. So it's just like his secondary effect isn't as valuable now that he has baseline Overwhelm. But it's kind of cool. It's a finisher. It's a big boy. I think the people who like to play like the really high statted, powerful, cool stuff are going to be happy with this change. I think it was weird originally that they didn't get overwhelmed. Because I always expected it to, but it didn't, or expected it to grant itself overwhelm or give itself overwhelm, and it didn't.
So
I'm happy with the change.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be taking the Scourge too often because it just costs more mana to do effectively the same thing as the Destroyer or the Great Beyond, which is end the game. But I can see it. It's fine.
So this is, in my personal opinion, this change right here. I was saying this earlier. I was talking to another one of my Runeterra people. It's just like, bro, Dragon's Clutch is literally a clutch card now. Like, it is actually pretty goddamn good. Like,
So
how do you feel about that, dude?
I was on Dragon's. I actually saw you talking about it, and you were like, "Whoa, this is huge," and I was just like, "Is it?" And then I played the game today, and I had a Screeching Dragon and a Shyvana and like some other small stuff on the field, and the opponent was on like 15 health. And then I was like, "That Dragon's Clutch are just dead." That's kind of nuts. And I Dragon's Clutched and they died. And then I was just like, We the Peoples is right. This is actually just a busted card.
It's because it's burst speed. If it wasn't burst speed, then it wouldn't be that crazy.
It should have to be focus.
I think it kind of does. But
we need to get rid of giving keywords at burst speed. The Absolver does it. Dragon's Clutch does it. I think it's like innately good.
Yeah. I think it's just like being able to give a keyword like overwhelm at burst speed. We saw it with Sivir, right? Like being able to give your board like ghost at burst speed, being able to give your board like double attack at burst speed, like that's broken.
Yeah, I think the idea that you could give keywords at burst speed is inherently broken. Now, for a ghost, it matters less because you can't cast it mid-combat. It just doesn't do anything because they already have the ability to block beforehand.
True.
Same with Fearsome, I guess you could do that. But like, I think as a rule, it should almost be at focus speed. Like, force the aggressor to commit. So at least the blocker knows what they're dealing with, especially when Runeterra's like core fundamental idea is that like there's blocker advantage in the game.
Yeah.
There's reactivity advantage, and Dragon's Clutch removes that, right? Because once they assign blockers, boom, you Dragon's Clutch, and now you just kind of change the rules of how fundamental blocking is, right? Do it. Like I'm imagining playing against some poor guy who's trying to play Glimpse Beyond on one of their units I would trade into, and then I'm just going to play Dragon's Clutch. I'm like, oh great, now that Glimpse Beyond is going to deal like 3 extra damage to your own face. You go from dealing 0 damage to dealing like 10 damage in a turn. Yeah.
Like that is the difference between you just killing somebody, because it only takes like what, maybe like a single combat to just like seal the game, because then you do like full damage, and it's just like, okay, well now you're dead.
Yeah, or leveled up, and if you have a leveled up Shyvana and you're attacking, you have that Shyvana spell, Strafing Strike.
True.
And that just enables it even better as well. It's so good, so good. Oh yeah. And
then also they changed Rune Dragon Guard to now have 1 additional attack, so it's a fearsome blocker. What it does is when an ally with Fury kills a unit, granted an additional +1/+1. So basically, it gives you a Fury procs, and then you get an additional +1/+1. So this card's pretty good. It's a fearsome blocker now. How do you feel about it, though?
Insane.
Really? It's insane?
Yeah. So I've played against dragons once and played with dragons twice, full disclosure. Every time Rune Dragon Guard hit the board, the game was just like, oh my, these dragons are about to get nuts. And they do that without sacrificing anything. Paying a 3/4 for 3 mana is like fine. it's just like a fine play. In fact, there's a card in Demacia that's a 3 mana 3/4 without text. But now there's a 3 mana 3/4 with text. So it's
pretty good, right?
It's such a good card. So you have them getting the dragons getting huge from Ruined Dragon Guard. You have them getting huge from Dragon Clutch, and this last card I think might be even a bigger impactful change than the Dragon's Clutch.
Yeah, I agree with that, because this is the card that starts the chain, right? Mm-hmm. It's the card that just like, all right, Heralds of the Dragon, all right, Shyvana on turn 3.
Yeah, so Herald of the Dragon went from a 2 mana 1/1 to a 2 mana 1/2. It does not die to pings anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It is brutal because now you can reliably and safely and expect to play the Herald of the Dragon, have it live, and then play Shyvana on turn 3.
It has to be insane, honestly. It doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, it felt amazing. If you could play turn 3 Shyvana and then play any dragon on turn 5, oftentimes that on turn 4, oftentimes that dragon is a screeching dragon.
You just take control of the game and
you just kind of win. Like, that's so strong.
Yeah. Nah, it seems pretty strong. And also, they buff Faces of the Old One and Vanguard Sergeant. I think the Vanguard Sergeant is pretty good. They also buffed this, obviously, because they buffed Lux. They wanted to give Lux a little bit more support, because Vanguard Sergeant gives the 4 Demacia, which is a 6 mana spell. How do you feel about these two changes, though?
Faces of the Old One's kind of cool. It removes the anti-synergy it had within its own region, which was it died to Avalanche.
True.
So cool. I think that's a kind of a win for Freljord just in general. Makes sense. Vanguard Sergeant. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about Lux. Maybe she's secretly good, but if she's not in a good deck, then Vanguard Sergeant probably isn't in a good deck either. Why play for Demacia when you play Yordles and Arms?
True, 100% true. And this last change, in my personal opinion, this change had me like, wait, huh? So, Destinata is now changed to all enemies. I'm sorry. Damage dealt to all enemies now scales with darkness damage increase. So basically, the damage that this card does is now scaling with darkness. So say for instance, if you have a 5 damage darkness, now you deal 5 damage to the whole board. This change is really good. How do you feel about that, though?
Destinata is now a 8 mana Ruination. That's one-sided.
One-sided, 0 mana. Well, I mean, it's 8 mana, but the darkness is 0 mana.
And if you have Senna on the board, it's fast speed.
Oh my! I forgot about that. Oh.
Yep. So you could consider Destinata to be a different spell speed, right? We could consider Destinata to be a super slow speed Ruination, because it takes 2 slow speed actions to get off. Mm-hmm. But you have Senna, and then it's just effectively a fast speed Ruination anyway. And it has a 7/6 butt, and it's one-sided. It doesn't kill your own stuff. I think Destinata just takes the place of Ruination. If Darkness decks were on one of Ruination, I think now they're on one of Destinata, and it feels good, whereas before it was just kind of bad. I think now it probably gets played. Seems good.
Yep, I think it's a pretty good change. So, those are all the changes. I think the other change that people kind of, maybe they saw, maybe they didn't, is that Trinket Trade, the Traveler, and Looping Telescope These cards will no longer be able to create themselves when played. That's a big change because I personally have literally gotten looping telescopes off of looping telescopes. Oh wait, did you not know that was in the patch?
No, I just read something in the patch note
Wait,
that
what?
I don't think anyone has talked about yet.
Wait, what?
And the bug fixes fixed an issue where darkness could be created in hand before a cast copy is resolved. Does this mean
Senna?
that,
I don't think.
Does this mean you can't hover the cast on Senna and then pull it back, or not pull back, but you cast it, and then attack with Senna, then hit accept, and then you get one in hand? If that's what that means, darkness is.
I didn't even know that wasn't intended.
I didn't know either. And if I'm reading it properly, and that is what this bug fix is, then darkness is like bad.
Really? You think darkness is bad?
Yes, because being able to double cast the darkness like in the attack phase, it was so good. It was so good.
Ah, man, I don't know. Hopefully it's not that.
I kind of hope it's not that.
Also,
I don't know.
Also, they changed the way the keywords are displayed on your unit display because of Arsenal. They optimized it, and I feel like that's pretty much this patch. Wow, yeah, I actually want to look. Now you're gonna make me pull out my darkness deck and go on ladder.
Or at least like test it versus AI or something.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna play some darkness after I get off stream. But oh man, this was a big patch though.
It's dragons. So dragons, my spicy take, best deck in the game, and it's not even close.
Wow, dragons best deck in the game.
Give it 3 weeks. No, give it 2 weeks before people are losing their mind about how good Dragons is.
You know why I agree with you? Because Dragon's Clutch is worst. That's the only reason why I agree with you.
It caught 4 buffs. Revenant Soul, the Herald of Dragons, the Dragon Guard Lieutenant. Whatever the 3/4 is now.
Oh, the Rune Dragon Guard.
Ruined Dragon Guard. And
Herald of
Dragon's Clutch. It got 4 buffs. It's not right. It's not okay. It's fun. I can be playing it all night.
Oh wow.
But it is not okay.
Alright, wow, man. I might have to take you up on that offer. But guys, we should end it off here. We've been going at it for an hour. I didn't even realize.
We didn't even get to talk about the tournament.
The tournament, I know. We didn't even get to talk about it. I mean, we can briefly talk about it.
TLDR. Flock built different back champion. Mm-hmm. Also, we're getting a lot of turnout in terms of participation for the tournament, so you need to make sure that you're signing up like ASAP. Because we had people who we had to turn away last time. Like, sorry, you weren't one of the first 32.
Yeah.
You didn't get in.
Yeah, I apologize on that, guys, but I'm sorry. If you guys aren't in the first 32, I can't help, bro. Like, what you want me to do?
Yeah, we have to like wake up the next morning. We can't be up until 1 in the morning casting this stuff. We can't, right? At least I can't.
No, I can't either, bro. You see the fam right there.
right. Like, so if you're interested in playing, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to cast it. I'm really enjoying it. Players seem to be enjoying it. Just make sure you sign up early.
Yeah, just make sure you sign up on time so we don't have to be like, man, you're 33. I apologize, but you're not going to be able to play this time. But I'm going to leave links down below for anybody that is listening to this on SoundCloud or YouTube or wherever you find us. You can sign up. If there's still space, you can check the links down below. And like I said earlier, I'm going to leave Doughy's links down below because he's been joining me when I haven't had anybody to come join me. I appreciate you, bro. Every single week you've been clearing your time. You've been giving me your time and your patience, and I appreciate it, bro. But I think we should head it off here because we've been going at this for an hour.
I'm getting tired.
So we'll see everybody next week, same time. I just want to, before I head it off, I want to just try something new by shouting out some of the people that were in the chat. I saw Mad Wheels, my girl back there. She just gave me a sub during the podcast. Somebody also followed Opie L Cent. Appreciate that. And let me see, is there anybody else?
Opalescent koi.
Yeah, I did not pronounce that.
That's a crazy word. That's not a word you see every day.
Opalescent koi. Yes. Okay. But so we see you guys. We appreciate it. And yeah, so we're gonna sign off here. Doughy, did you have any last words before I sign it off?
No, just make sure you sign up for the tournament on Tuesday. If you're not going to be able to play, make sure you watch it anyway. You can catch it on Weak People's stream or on my stream. We both cast it. It's a good time.
Yes, sir. We try to have fun with it. But all right, so we'll see everybody next week. And peace out. Later, guys.